No one noticed the girl sitting alone at the farthest table, no one except the man who had walked in 15 minutes late, holding a tiny girl's hand as if she were the only anchor he had left in the world. But before that moment, before their paths collided, Alina had been invisible on a night she should have belonged to the most. Alina never imagined her sister's wedding would be the night she felt like an outsider in her own family. It wasn't always like this. She used to be close to her elder sister Zara. They shared secrets, clothes, late-night laugh spot. Everything changed when Alina refused to marry the man their parents had chosen for her. He was wealthy, influential, and arrogant. She'd said no. Zara, desperate to please their parents, had said yes months later. The wedding hall was glowing with golden lights, overflowing with relatives, music, clinking glasses, and laughter. Everywhere Alina looked, people were smiling, except her. Her mother's eyes avoided her. Her father nodded politely, but said nothing. And Zara, dressed in dazzling red bridal attire, looked at her only once, with a mix of guilt and fear. Alina tried to help earlier, but every time she reached for something, a tray, a decoration, a task, another aunt or cousin would guide her away. Eventually, someone placed her at table 17. In the corner, behind a pillar that blocked the stage. Just sit here for a while, Beta, her aunt, had murmured before walking off. For a while, the word stung. It meant stay out of sight. Don't ruin the pictures. Don't make anyone uncomfortable. Alina sat alone, her hinted hands folded in her lap, listening to the laughter that never reached her table. She brushed away a single tear before it could smudge her eyeliner. She didn't want to cry. Not here, not tonight, but loneliness has a way of breaking even the bravest hearts. Why am I even here? She whispered under her breath. Just then, a sudden giggle, teeny bright, pure, broke through the noise. A little girl, maybe 5 years old, wearing a pink frock with sparkly shoes, tugged at her father's hand as they entered. The man looked tired, slightly out of breath, but charming in a simple navy blue shirt rolled up at the sleeves. His hair was a little messy, like he'd rushed to get here. His eyes scanned the room urgently, searching for a place to sit. Every table was full, except the lonely table 17. The man noticed her. Alina quickly looked away, embarrassed. She didn't want pity from a stranger, but he started walking toward her anyway. Excuse me, he said gently, his voice warm but hesitant. Is anyone sitting here? Alina blinked. Her throat tightened. No, she said softly. It's just me. He smiled, an honest, grateful smile that felt like sunlight reaching a cold corner. Great, I am Ion, and this is my daughter Hanny. We came late. Mind if we join you? She shook her head. Please. As Ion pulled out a chair, Hanny climbed onto one cheerfully, swinging her small legs. You look sad, Hanny said bluntly, tilting her head. Alina almost laughed. Kids don't hold back, do they? Ion rubbed his neck awkwardly. She's observant. I'm okay, Alina assured the little girl. Hanny reached across the table and held her hand. Okay, I'm here now. Alina's heart melted a little. Ion sat and exhaled deeply. Thank you for letting us sit with you. Honestly, I thought we'd have to stand near the gate. It's fine, Alina said. You're the first person who wanted to sit here. Ion raised an eyebrow. But why? This is the best table. Look, no noise, no crowd, no one bumping into you. Peaceful. She laughed quietly. That's one way to look at it. A waiter came to place food. Ion served Hanny and then offered the dish to Alina first. Something no one from her family had done tonight. Are you related to the bride or groom? He asked politely. My sister is the bride, she answered. Ayaan paused. Oh, then why are you sitting so far away? Alina shrugged, trying to make it sound like a joke. Maybe because I'm annoying. She smiled, but it was a fractured smile. Ion studied her face, not in a judging way, but in a way that said he actually cared to understand. Or maybe, he said quietly, you're being treated unfairly. Her eyes widened slightly. She wasn't used to people taking her side. It's complicated, she murmured. Looking at her hands, Hanny stuffed a spoonful of rice in her mouth, then said, you can sit with us all night if you want. Ion chuckled. Yes, what she means is you're not alone. The band started playing wedding music. Louder now, as the photographer called families toward the stage. Alina sighed. Here comes the part where everyone pretends to be perfect. Ion looked toward the stage, then back at her. Do you want to go for pictures? She shook her head quickly. No, they didn't ask me. He leaned forward slightly. Sometimes people expect you to stay silent until you finally stop existing for them. The words hit her hard. Exactly. Hanny stood on her chair suddenly. Baba, I want to dance. Ion laughed. Okay, but hold my hand. You run like a rocket. They both got up. As Ion turned, he noticed Alina staring at her lap, the loneliness returning to her face. Hey, he said softly. Come with us. I don't think. Look, he said, lowering his voice and leaning closer. Everyone here seems too busy to notice you. But I'm not, and neither is Hanny. Come dance with us. Alina hesitated, and then something inside her cracked, a part of her that had been waiting all night for a hand to reach out. She nodded. Hanny squealed. Yay. pretty auntie dancing with us. Alina followed them to the dance floor. At first, she stood stiffly, unsure, but Hanny grabbed her hands, spinning around like a little tornado of joy. Alina laughed for the first time that night. Ayan watched him, smiling softly. For a moment, Alina forgot the stares, the whispers, the isolation. She felt human again. But good moments never last long, especially when people are primed to find faults. As the dance ended, Alina saw her mother staring at her from across the hall with disappointment burning in her eyes. Her father whispered something into her mother's ear, and both turned away. A familiar ache returned. Ayan noticed. "You okay?" "They don't like me drawing attention," she muttered. "Well," he said calmly, "they're doing a terrible job hiding their favoritism." Alina looked at him sharply. No one had ever said it so plainly. "Come," Ayan said, guiding her back to the table. "Before Hanny steals all the kebabs." They sat again. Alina felt lighter, but also exposed like, letting herself feel happy had consequences. "Do you know," she said slowly, "this used to be my dream. My sister's wedding. I used to imagine we'd sit together, laugh, take pictures. But now she barely looks at me." "What happened?" Ayan asked gently. Alina hesitated, but there was something safe about him. Something steady, something that made her feel heard. "I refused an arranged marriage," she said, "a man my parents wanted. Zara was already engaged back then. But when I refused, everything changed. My parents said I humiliated them. Zara tried to convince me, but I couldn't marry someone I didn't love." Ayan nodded. "So they pushed you out, just a little at first, then more. Tonight it feels like I don't even belong." Ayan's face softened. "I'm sorry, you don't have to be." "But I am," he insisted. "People forget daughters are humans, not trophies." She stared at him. "What about you?" Alina asked. "Why are you alone with your daughter?" Ayan's smile faded slightly. "Her mother passed away 3 years ago." Alina's breath caught. "I'm sorry. She was sick. It happened fast." He swallowed hard. "After that, people stopped inviting us to events. They say it's too much work to have a kid at weddings." "I think she's lovely," Alina said sincerely. Ayan smiled. "She thinks you're lovely too." Hours passed, but Alina didn't notice. They talked about everything: books, work, childhood memories. Ayan told her about running a small repair shop. Alina confessed her dream of starting a bakery one day. "You should," he said. "You talk about baking like it's magic." She laughed. Maybe it is. For the first time in months, someone believed in her dreams. Suddenly, the photographer approached their table. "Sir, ma'am, please move. We're taking family pictures here." Alina froze. She wasn't family not to anyone here. Ayan looked at the photographer calmly. "Actually, we're together." The photographer blinked. "Oh, sorry, sir." He walked away. Alina stared at Ayan, shocked. "Why did you say that?" He shrugged. "Because he was making you feel small. And because," he paused, choosing his words, "you shouldn't be alone tonight." Her lips parted, but no words came. Moments later, Zara approached the table. Her heavy dress rustled as she walked, her eyes filled with guilt. "Alina," she whispered, "you should have come to the stage earlier." "You didn't ask," Alina replied softly. Zara winced. "I was scared. I didn't want a scene." Alina felt like she had been slapped. "A scene," she whispered. Double quotes. "No, I didn't mean." "It's fine," Alina said firmly. "It's your wedding. Don't worry." Zara looked helpless. "Come now, please, at least for one picture." Ayan stood up slightly. "She doesn't have to if she doesn't want to." Zara looked at him, confused. "Who are you?" "A friend," he said. Something in Zara's face softened. She looked at Alina again, tears forming. "Please, I don't want to remember tonight without you." Alina's heart cracked open. Anger, hurt, love, nostalgia, everything mixed inside her. She nodded. Ayan smiled. "Go." Alina joined Zara on the stage. The family gathered around her. For the first time, her mother looked at her properly. Her father adjusted his coat awkwardly. Zara slipped her hand into Alina's. "I'm sorry," she whispered.